Hello guys, it's Catherine from Grammar for Everybody and welcome to a new video. Today we will start a new topic, comparatives and superlatives. So let's get into business. When we talk about comparatives and superlatives, we refer to a variety of adjectives that have different forms to indicate their degree of comparison and intensity. So, the forms we refer to are the positive form, the comparative form, and the superlative form. We are going to study each of them. So, the first form is the positive form. We use this form to indicate no comparison. Or in other words, we can say that these adjectives belonging to positive form are the simple adjectives. For example, good, tall, big, and smooth. They are not showing comparison, they are just simple adjectives. And here we have some examples of this form of adjectives in sentences. The first one says, I am tall. This is just a simple adjective, tall. New York is big. Big is the simple adjective. And my room is clean. This is also a simple adjective. And then we have the comparative form. We use this form to compare two nouns or pronouns. So, when making comparison, we can highlight the superiority, inferiority, or equality of one noun to another noun, or of one pronoun to another pronoun. So, the structures for these forms of the comparative form can vary depending on the one we are using. So, we are going to see each of them. Okay, in comparisons of superiority, the adjective in the comparative form, we are going to see this later in a few minutes, is followed by the word than. For example, John runs faster than Mark, and she is taller than Gabby. In these two examples, we can see that John is in a higher level than Mark, and she is in a superior level than Gabby. So this is the structure for comparisons of superiority. Now let's talk about comparisons of inferiority. To form this type of comparisons, we use conjunctions. Not as, and less than. Remember that for these two cases, the adjectives are in the positive form or simple adjectives. Here we have two examples. Mark is not as fast as John, and Gabby is less tall than Ellie. I want you to see the conjunctions. Not as and as. Less than. We have the adjectives in the positive form between the conjunctions. Not as fast as and less tall than. This is the structure that we must follow when making comparisons of inferiority. And of course, we can use a lot of adjectives with these conjunctions. For example, Mark is not as good as John, Mark is not as happy as John, or Mark is not as handsome as John, etc. And the last form of the comparative form is comparisons of equality. With this type, we use the adjective in the positive form, and also we use a conjunction. This conjunction is as and as. So here we have two examples. The first one says, Mark is as fast as John. And the next one, Gabby is as tall as Ellie. Here we have the conjunctions. And also we have the adjective in the positive form between the conjunctions. So with these two examples, we mean to say that Mark is at the same level than John. And Gabby is also at the same level than Ellie. So this is the structure we must follow when making comparisons of equality. Now we have studied the three forms of the comparative form, let's talk about the superlative form. The superlative form is used when expressing a quality in its highest degree. So, when using this form, we must have in mind two important factors of this form. The first one is that we must use the article the. And the second one is that the adjective must be in the superlative form. We will study this in a few minutes, okay? So here we have two examples. The first example says, Mark is the fastest. Here we have the article the and also the adjective in the superlative form. And here in the next example, Ellie is the tallest. Here we have the article and then we have the adjective in the superlative form. And here we have another form in which we can use the superlative form. New York is the coldest city in January. The only thing we have to do to use it in this way is to play a noun after the adjective in the superlative form, and only that. Okay? Okay people, now let's study the rules. There are some rules that we must follow when creating comparatives and superlatives. We have the first case, for one-syllable adjectives. To create the comparative form, we have the adjective in the positive form and we add er at the end of the adjective, so it becomes faster. And to create the superlative form, we add est at the end of the adjective, and it becomes fastest. The second case is for one-syllable adjectives that end in e. To create the comparative, we add the consonant r at the end of the adjective. Nice, nicer. And to create the superlative, we add st at the end of the adjective. Nice, nicest. The third case is for one-syllable adjectives that end in consonant, vowel, consonant. To create a comparative form, we have the adjective in the positive form and we double the last consonant. In this case, the last consonant is T, so we write it again. And then we add er at the end of the adjective, so it becomes harder for the comparative form. And to create the superlative form, we do the same. We add the last consonant and also we add est at the end of the adjective, so it becomes hardest for the superlative form. Case number 4 is for one-syllable adjectives that end in y. To create a comparative form, we remove the letter y and we add ier at the end of the adjective. So for funny, it is funnier without the letter y. And for the superlative, we also do the same. We remove the letter y and we add iest at the end of the adjective, so it is funniest. The fifth case is for adjectives of 2 or more syllables. To create the comparative form, we add the word more or less before the adjective. And for the superlative form, we add the most or the least before the adjective. And finally, the last case is for irregular adjectives. Remember that every time we see the word irregular, it means that it will be with a different spelling, with a totally different spelling. So, we have the positive adjectives, good and bad. So, the comparative is better for good and worse for bad. And the superlative is best for good and worst for bad. So guys, this is all we have to know about comparatives and superlatives, and I hope you guys take advantage of this video. Remember that you can get the free practice on the link in the description, and for sure you can get the answers as well. So, if you want to continue learning about the English grammar, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video!